Welcome to this Upstart Footy preview. I'm Giulio Di Giorgio, and we're joined as always by John Takemura. G'day, Johnny. How are you, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Big preliminary final weekend, and the top four teams are battling it out, which I think's quite fitting.
We'll get to the game shortly. It's been a tumultuous week off the field in the AFL, with Ross Lyon going to the Freo Dockers, Sanderson coaching the Adelaide Crows next year, and of course McCartney, an untried coach. He's been an assistant with Geelong for the past 10 or so years, and now with the Bombers, being appointed as the Bulldogs coach. Being a Bulldogs man, what are your thoughts on his appointment?
I think it's not a bad appointment to get someone outside the club. Obviously, Leon Cameron was the favourite, but I think, Brendan McCartney, he's done it with Mark Thompson. He was with James Hird this season as well, and I think he'll have a nice positive impact. Won 4 premierships with Ocean Grove, along with Mark Neal, who's become the Melbourne coach as well. So something must be growing well down there at Ocean Grove Football Club.
We begin tonight, Collingwood versus Hawthorn at 7:45 at the MCG. This will be a really close encounter. A lot of people already predicting a Collingwood-Geelong grand final, but I don't think the Pies are over the line just yet. I think the key matchup, Johnny, will be Sean Makers and Josh Gibson in defence for the Hawks against the two in-form, powerful forwards of Cloke and Dawes for the Collingwood Football Club. Whoever can win that battle will go a long way in determining, I think, who will win that match. What are your thoughts, mate?
Definitely. Geelong managed to expose Sean Makers in the qualifying final, but Josh Gibson was outstanding last week. A league record 21 spoils.
Indeed.
I'd expect him to take the job on Travis Cloke, and a couple of weeks ago Travis Cloke was well held by young Eric McKenzie for the West Coast Eagles. So if Gibson can hold Cloke to less than 2 goals, I think they're a real chance of winning. Obviously Buddy, everyone's
injury concerns there, mate.
Definitely, but I think he played last week, kicked 4 goals. If he plays again, he's going to have a big key defender for Collingwood on him, and I think he can run them off their legs, but I'm not sure if they can win across the ground. Collingwood, their midfield, Swan, Pendlebury.
Superior. Yeah.
I think to the Hawthorn midfield. And Lukey Hodge, who's struggled a bit in the couple of finals so far, I expect him to have a big game, but I think also with Ben Reid coming back, he steadies up their defence a hell of a lot, and I think they'll win by about 20 points.
Right, and if the Hawks are to be a chance, Buddy has to play and, as you said, kick at least 4 or so goals like he did last week. So I think the Pies should just get up by about 8 points. Saturday afternoon, 2:20 start. The West Coast Eagles come to Melbourne and face the Geelong Cats. The big question is, after a brutal encounter against the Blues last week, Johnny, whether they'll be fit and ready coming off that short break. Geelong, of course, have had the long break with that luxury of finishing in the top 4. So the question is, will they be fit against the Cats?
West Coast were pretty good last week. They started a bit slow, but they managed to overrun Carlton in that last quarter. Carlton made a little bit of a run late on, but West Coast Kerr was outstanding. He was back to the form of about 3 or 4 years ago. Natanui and Cox were outstanding. Their combination work with Kerr in the centre of the ground was outstanding.
And on that, the big test is for Brad Ottens this week, whether he can nullify both Natanui and Cox's impact on the game this week.
Definitely. Brad Ottens was best on ground against Hawthorn. He played an absolute blinder. And he's going to have to go up against the duo that you've said of Natanui and Cox. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Also, expect Scott Selwood. He might pick up his brother Joel. Did a pretty good job on Chris Judd last week. But
apparently there have been a few text messages going between the two brothers this week.
And Adam as well.
That's right,
so probably a little bit going on there. But I think also, Kennedy, he's been past fit to play after a cheekbone scare. So he should be fit and firing. But I think Geelong with the week off, they're an experienced team. Joel Corey comes back in for Daniel Menzel. Highly likely that's going to happen. And I think Geelong will win by about 25 points.
Yeah, I agree with you. After that short turnaround, flying over from Perth, the long trip to the MCG, I don't think they have what it takes to beat the Cats, who, as we've said, have had the week off. So I'm going for the Cats by, as you said, about the 20-point mark. And that's all we've got time for on this Upstart Footy preview. Thanks so much for joining us, as always. Johnny Takemura, Chief Football Analyst, great work again.
And good work by you too, Jules.
No worries, appreciate it there, mate. And thanks also to our BigFooty.com viewers. Thanks for your continued support. And please be sure to join us next week for a grand final edition of Upstart's Footy Preview. And keep tuning in to Upstart, the magazine for emerging journalists.